1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Put your glad rags on.
As soon as I got my driver's license, we went on a date. That night, I forget it, but we double dated with Jimmy Morton, KB Wells. We went to see 10 Commandments. And 99% of all the times we were together, all the way up until junior year, it was always double dating or with a group. We were never by ourselves. It was a different world, though. The morals and the dating and things of my generation were different.
Like he said, we met on Mary Lane's front porch, and all of our gang, our friends, would be there. In the summer, almost every night. And the poor Lanes, her family, welcomed us, and they had a great big porch, and it's still there. You can see we sat on the banisters. And it was just a fun time. And Billy and I were talking about it the other day. There really wasn't anything at that time to do except the Princess Theater had been open until, we're not real sure what year it closed, but that was a big part of our before dating, and maybe some dating, but it closed not too long after that. The Crenshaws probably weren't making anything keeping that open. It cost, way back, it cost 15 cents to get in. Mother would give me a quarter, and there you could get popcorn and a Coke and get in the theater. And that's where at least our young and teenage, very, very young years, middle school, I guess you'd say, that's where we go to the theater, or we go to Mary Lane's. And we went to Mary's all the way up to when we were seniors in high school. And Billy and I met, I believe it was at school. I remember passing him in the hall, knowing who he was, but he was that other class. We didn't, that was the other class. We didn't have anything to do with the other class. You know how that goes. But good times. I mean, we went to Moon River. That was the big thing. You either went to, especially after you started driving, or at least one of our classmates started driving. Whoever had a car, the rest would squeeze in, and we'd all go to Moon River. And we had very little money, so I'm surprised, but most of us ate at Moon River. And we'd either get a Greek burger or we'd get a butter burger. They had a burger that they fried in butter. It was called a butter burger. And I remember that was cheaper than a Greek burger, you see. So a lot of times I got the butter burger. But Moon River and Pathlands Lake, that's what you did in the summertime. We both were lifeguards, but I wasn't allowed on the, was it the side, the other side?
North side.
The north side, because that's where all the Fort Campbell soldiers went.
Breckenridge.
Billy was a lifeguard there, but I wasn't, because I wasn't big enough to get them out of the water. I was in the side where all the children were, and I was a lifeguard there, and we went to the YMCA or YMCA to get our license so that we could be lifeguards. That was fun. Almost all of our friends were lifeguards, so we all went to these swimming lessons and learned how to save people and how to give them artificial respiration.
Yeah.
That was totally different than what they did later.
Can I interject? Absolutely. A typical date, unlike what they do now, a typical date was always 90%, 95% of our dates were always double dates. Sometimes they were triple. We may have three couples in, and we would always go to a movie, and then from the movie, we would go to Farmer's Daughter and get a pizza.
That was in Evansville.
In Evansville.
Yeah.
And then we would come home. If we parked, it would be at the old dam, watching submarine races, and in grade school, Newburgh Youth Foundation you spent, from the first grade all the way to about the 7th or 8th grade. Newburgh Youth Foundation had every day there was a baseball. We had baseball teams. Every day there were games and horseshoes and all that. So in grade school you spent in the summertime a lot of time there, and I did between the time I was staying in Cordon and the time I was in Newburgh was at Newburgh Youth Foundation. So Pathlands Lake is another story. I lifeguarded there, and I can tell you all day long stories that went on in Pathlands Lake. Pathlands Lake, Moon River was very important in those days too. So, but the typical date was a double date, going to a movie and getting a pizza, and that was it. So.
And you got hitched, as you say.
I got hitched, yeah. And she chased me unmercifully. I must know. You must know that. So, but actually, funny thing is, in grade school, I was a jock. I was an athlete. I was a good athlete in grade school. In freshman and sophomore of high school, I was good, but not great. And then I met Wanda and started dating all this stuff, and got 16 of his car. And so basketball wasn't very interested to me anymore. I didn't. My senior year, I didn't even go out for the team. I was a starter in my junior year and didn't even go out in my senior year. But I did. I had a job, and we talked about getting married. That was all in this thing. And so, and we talked. And Dad was on strike, so I was working for a Kroger grocery store, and they were a union grocery store, and they paid good part-time salary. So I made $40 a week back in 1959. It's like making, I don't know, $400 a week now. So, but different world back. The 50s were a different world. The music, the dancing, everything was different.